listening to Pop Leisure, and I'm your host, Lane Caddy. Pop Leisure gives you the lowdown on local happenings, movies, music, arts, and entertainment. Let us know what's happening in your neck of the woods at Pop Leisure Show on Instagram or email popleisureshow@gmail.com. Join us on FM 98.5 The Phoenix, Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 9 p.m. I am so thrilled today because I'm joined by some very special guests. Morgan, a performer, and Charlie, a publicist from the incredible Cirque Du Soleil here at the Fairgrounds in Oaks through June 7th. You have to get your tickets right away because they're only here through June 7th, and the show is amazing. You can pick up tickets at cirquedusoleil.com. You still have time to get out and see a show, and what a show it is. Ladies, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. So, Charlie, I want to start with you about the show and Cirque du Soleil in general is such a fascinating enterprise. I mean, it is really making theater above and beyond, and the concept of circus above and beyond. And I don't know much about the roots of it. Where does it begin?
So Cirque du Soleil was created in 1984 in a little town called Baie-Saint-Paul, which is maybe an hour away from Quebec City, so in Canada. And then, yes, when it first started, I think it redefined what the circus world was, because it was all about pushing the limit of the human body. And now it's been doing it for years and years. And then as the year goes, we obviously integrated some new technology. We have live music. We have amazing costumes. So I think it's an escape. We offer an escape to the audiences that come out and see us.
You do, and you do it so well that you really get just lifted out of whatever your headspace was before you entered that. And we come in, and I saw the show on opening night, and it was such a beautiful, beautiful show. I'm really impressed. And you mentioned something that stuck in my mind. The costumes are over the top amazing. And even it's not even all just costumes. There's puppets. I want to say puppets. That's a loose definition of the word puppet. Is that what you would call them?
Yeah, we call them the puppets. They are some of them are part of the costume department, so the one that the performer are wearing. But we also have two massive puppets, which is the jaguar and the horse, that are more looked out by our props department, which is a way for us to integrate the fauna of Mexico, because there's never been any animals as part of Cirque du Soleil, but it's so important in their culture. So having those type of puppets in the costume and on stage as props is the way of doing it.
That is such a fascinating way to understand why these puppets were so much more extreme than I've seen in past Cirque du Soleil. That there was this need to incorporate animals. And tell me about is it a rule? It's a rule that there's no animals at Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, there's never been any. It has always been focused on the human performance. But then when the idea of making a show about Mexico kind of pops up, and then you want to do this thing, but you want to pay the right tribute to the culture, which is animals, and the fauna is so important. So this is the way where the creation team came up with the idea of let's make the animals puppets.
But they're not just any puppets.
No. If you sometimes I think you can believe that it's a real one.
Absolutely, but that it's real. The movement is so natural and correct, and they're larger than life is the thing that really struck me about it. From all angles of the space, you're seeing the horse in particular. It looks like he's 2 stories tall. He's huge, and there's people inside of him.
Yep, there's 3 artists in the horse to make him move.
Wow. That is really, really special. The costuming was spectacular. There's one that's kind of the signature of the show. I'm thinking of the monarch butterfly. Tell me about how that ties into the culture, things I don't know.
So the running woman, she represents the monarch butterfly, because every year there will be a migration from monarchs from Canada to Mexico. So it's the link of how we tie it in, Cirque du Soleil being a Canadian company and the show being inspired by Mexico. This is a little touch that we brought into the show.
I am smiling from ear to ear because that is so touching that it brings the cultural focus from Mexico the whole way back full circle to Canada because of this migration, and the costume, the way that this is done is just the most beautiful thing ever. The wings are, how big are the wings?
They're 6 meters each, so yeah, it is such a stunning moment. This is personally one of my favorite moments in the show, when the show starts and she comes out and like running with the horse in the background and everything is happening. I think it's like it's where you just realize like, okay, like I'm going somewhere else, like I'm being taken away on a really nice journey.
Yes, we feel like we woke up in a little dream. Like, and we're just in this dream, a little dream, big dream, a big dream, and it is really transporting, and that's what's so of such value to me. I just love to see live theater productions that transport us into a different space and a different time, and that you can enjoy being in that dream state for a while, and that you can share it with people that you love. You know, usually your dreams are just your own.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, it's a really good way of putting it. It's amazing. Yeah, it's just allowing yourself to escape and like look what the artists are presenting to you and just take what you want from it. It's beautiful.
Yes. Oh, and we're so lucky today to have one of your artists here with us. I'm like having like a fangirl moment. I'm like, oh, she's really here right in front of me. Morgan, tell us about what your part of this show is.
So I'm doing various parts in the show. It depends of which day. Usually I'm always doing the pole dance act, which is a group act. But once a week I'm doing trapeze, which is an act in the rain. So we do trapeze in the rain. And it's a really beautiful moment of the show because they're projecting lights on the rain and the images are super nice.
The images and the shadows when the performer breaks the rain, it has a very dramatic effect.
Exactly.
And I'm so glad that you brought up the rain. That seems to me like, as a performer, a major challenge.
It is a major challenge. I've been working for Cirque du Soleil for almost 10 years now, and it's my first show with water. Mm-hmm. You definitely have to adapt, but the show has been created to be with water. So that means anything is made for water. In the stage, there is thousands of tiny holes, so the water can go through the stage and doesn't stay wet. And for example, the trapeze that we use is made of a special material. The ropes are ropes that they use in boat, the sailors, and the bar is wood, but it's a wood that usually lives in the water. So it doesn't really mind being wet, and it doesn't get bad with the water.
Right.
So it was really made for this show.
The swing doesn't mind being wet. How do you feel about it?
It was scary at first because, of course, you have to concentrate on your technique, and then you're upside down and you have rain that goes through your nose it's like little details that you don't think about when you're seeing the show, but when you actually have to do it, you're like, oh, okay, then I'll try to figure out something. But you get used to it pretty fast.
You get used to it. So you find the way forward pretty quickly. But at first, that's a little bit of a shock to be
of course,
dumped
it's
water
different
on while you're doing
And now
your
I
art.
feel like the hardest part actually is walking on the floor when we're barefoot and the stage is wet because it's slippery. But actually being in the air in the rain is now super comfortable for me. But walking on stage is actually scary.
Isn't that wild?
It is.
It's the simple things.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. No, I have to tell you that when I'm watching this really spectacular view of the trapeze artist in the rain, the last thing that I'm thinking is, I wonder if there's water up her nose. That is not what I'm thinking at all.
But it's good.
But that's true. That is what the artist is doing, because I'm sure it takes a lot of concentration to not be sort of looking like, oh my goodness, there's water up.
Exactly, it does. And our job is to make you think that what we're doing is easy.
Oh,
it's not, but we're trying to make you look like it's oh, cute, she's on a swing, she's spinning, oh, she's smiling, she must be enjoying this, and it looks effortless.
It does.
Which is not, but
that's
that
part
means
of the fantasy.
Yeah, that means we're doing good, I think.
Oh, yes, absolutely you are. It is like a dream. It's like watching a dream, and it's so unreal how that happens. One of my other favorite parts of, while we're on the topic of the rain, is this. I cannot understand how this was happening, but at some point in time, the rain that's coming down starts making images that are quite vivid, and it seems like they're engineered, that the raindrops are creating images kind of like the new way that they do drone shows where there's like a drone that'll create an image in front of us, like a big smiley face. But these images were birds and leaves and swirling things that are way more complex than I would have ever imagined possible.
Yeah, it is a really big technology that we're putting in it. So basically, the rain curtain is composed of 174 little valves.
Okay.
And we can control each valve individually and send different signal, open or close. So to make it simple, we take a picture, we shrink it to 174 pixels. Each valve becomes a pixel, and it's like if we're printing with the water. It looks simple as I'm explaining it like this, but like there's a lot of test that goes into it, because obviously as the water is falling down too, the shape kind of changes. So there was a lot of like tests and tries and like things to make it happen, but now it's they have it pretty nailed down, and it is definitely a wow moment in the show. Everywhere we go, people are always blown away by it.
Huge wow moment. When you describe it like that, well, we shrink the image to 174 pixels. I'm like, well, that's obvious. That seems like, well, sure, it's pretty straightforward. And yet, I mean, having to break through the wall of nobody's ever done this, and we're going to figure it out. And you have programmers that are there and making those adjustments for the way the water moves as it starts to fall. It was so well done. So really, congrats. I mean, that's its own art. There's must be hundreds of people behind the scenes creating the technology to present this art to us.
Yeah, especially during the creation process. Like a creation process can take up to 2 years, and like there's so many people working on the show, and then the show hits the road, and then we have a team here of 124 like traveling with this show together, and then there's 47 artists on stage every night. But yes, there are people working backstage, a technician, the site. We travel with our own kitchen, so we have chef traveling with us.
Really?
Yeah, we do. And then we have all the people coming from like our guest experience. So yeah, there's a lot of different departments that works together. It's like, I like to say it's like a Rubik's Cube that all fits together in order to make a show every day.
It is like a Rubik's Cube, and Morgan told me it's like it's its own village, right? And you would need all those moving parts, everything. You got to take it with you when you're on the road so much. How long is the average time in one place?
It depends. We did as short as 4 weeks, and we did as long as 17 weeks. So anything in between is possible. I want to say maybe the average is 7 to 8 weeks in the city. Mm-hmm. And then the show is on the road all year long, so we don't get the off-season like sports teams or anything. So the show keep on going. The artists do get a couple of some time off in between cities while the rest of the team is moving. Okay. But yeah, like coming back to like, yes, we're a village, and then we all kind of become a family, because like we're always away from our own family. So here becomes our little family on the road. And
this machine just keeps cranking. There's no, we take the summer off. It's just all year long. We're doing the work. Wow, that's exciting. And where are you headed next, out of curiosity, from Oaks?
We're going back to Canada, so we're going to go to Toronto, and then we'll finish Canada for the rest of the year.
Oh, wow. Oh, that'll be fun. Good.
Yeah. But, I mean, personally, I'm happy. I'm getting a little closer to home. So it's always nice when you're like, I can maybe drive home for this weekend. So that's always good.
That would be nice. Wow. So Morgan, I want to ask you about the traveling. It's such a different kind of lifestyle, and even getting into this type of performance and being as athletic as you are, to be capable of the dancing and oh my goodness, I'm in awe. Where did that begin for you? Were you just always really great at sort of tumbling and climbing and things?
When I was 12 years old, I was doing rhythmic gymnastics for a few years. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed the end of the year show, but I hated the competition. I was really not a competitive person. And my mom heard of a little circus school in France, where I'm from, and she's like, I think you might like it because you like to do shows. And I was always, when we had guests over, I was always saying, hey, look at my show. I just wanted to perform. So I went and I stepped into this tiny circus school, and I was going only like 4 hours a week. And I fell in love with circus like right away. And I knew that's what I wanted to do. But nobody from my family is a performer. So it was kind of hard to convince my dad. My mom was like 100% with me from the start, which I'm very grateful for. But I really pushed, and somehow I convinced him. And when I was 15, I left home for another town in France.
Wow.
To do like a high school circus program. So I was away from my parents when I was 15. And for 3 years, I was doing like normal high school, and then like 10 hours of circus per week, which was at the time was a lot. But then when I was 18, I moved to Montreal to only do circus.
Yes.
And to study in the circus school called National Circus School of Montreal, which is right in front of the headquarters of Cirque du Soleil. And so this was like 35 hours of circus per week. So that was but only circus. And like we had like a few like English classes, how to manage your career, story about like art in general, and like story of circus, but mostly was training.
Amazing. So that school is for training, but it's not affiliated with Cirque du Soleil.
It's not.
It just happens to be strategically straight across the street.
Exactly. And at the end of the 3 years that you're supposed to do there in the school in Montreal, Cirque du Soleil cross the road and come see your end of the year performance. So you go, if they like you, you go directly in their database. And it's easy for them. It's nice.
How convenient.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I graduated in 2013, and 2.5 years after they called me to do the first show, I worked with them in Las Vegas called Love, about the Beatles.
Wow. I'm kind of stuck on the fact that it was 2.5 years later that they called you, because that's kind of a thing that I want to remember for myself when I sort of have a lot of things hung up on a hope or a dream and don't know if it'll come through. 2.5 years is a long time to wait for that call.
Yeah, but at the same time, I was working in other places. Like I did a lot of dinner shows in Germany. So I was not bored. But of course, that was one of the goals of my career. So I was working, and I was hoping that someday it will come. Actually, 2.5 years is not that long, because like some people have to wait way more, and some people never get that call. So I was super lucky when they called us.
Is it a matter of matching your skill set to a show that's produced?
Yes.
That is really about that.
Yeah.
More so than this was just the best one.
Yeah, because they have some great artists, but if their discipline doesn't match any of the shows, then they are not going to hire this person.
That makes a lot of sense. And there are some disciplines, I imagine, that are in higher demand than others.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it could be anything. It seems to me like there's certain people that are maybe the only person that is
there
doing
is some
something.
disciplines that are very rare. Yeah.
If I may mention the Snake Man. Can we talk about the Snake Man for a minute? He feels like a very one-of-a-kind human being. Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, he is one of a kind. But his discipline is contortion. There's a lot of people who do contortion, as part of the circus. But the way he does it, there's not a lot of people who can do it. He started when he was 4 years old and just never stopped. And he is, as you said, one of a kind. It's
one of a kind. Wow.
It's pretty, you need some time to get used to what you're seeing.
Yes, that is true. So for those of you that haven't seen the show yet, you should go. You really, really need to go. Get your tickets at cirquedusoleil.com. And I'm talking about a specific performer. I'm calling him the Snake Man. I don't know what what the title is. Is there a better name?
He actually represented alebrije. So if you know a little bit the Mexican culture, it is like a creature that is here to scare nightmares away from the kids.
Yes, he's terrifying. I think that's his role in the show, and so his facial expressions, like he is terrifying, but he's a contortionist, and like just nothing that I can imagine ever seeing anywhere ever again.
It's probably your only chance to see something like this for sure.
Yes, he's one of a kind for sure. And again, I'm sure there's many other people that have these kind of abilities and talents that are very unique to just them. That one really stood out to me as something that just was not even remotely close to other. I'm sure I've seen a contortionist on stage before, but not quite like that. That's a not not quite like that. But there's a lot of things about this show that feel very one-of-a-kind opportunity. We talked about the huge costumes and puppets and animals, and the rain is a really special feature of the show. That's not something that you can see in many other contexts. And it's not just rain in the middle of a play where people are talking to each other. It's rain in the middle of this kind of performance that's technically very challenging. And so it just adds and adds and adds to the level of amazement from us. We were totally amazed. Is there a favorite part? Do you have a favorite part of the show, Charlie?
I have different. Like, it kind of changes with over time. Like,
Sure.
and it's often like some little moment. I really love just before the intermission when everyone comes out and all sings together. Like, I don't know why. Like, I've seen this show like probably more than 100 times, but it still gets me emotional sometimes. It just gets you. It's really a beautiful moment, and yeah, it's like
That's
it's
so
not an
sweet.
acrobatic moment, but what I love also about this show is that yes, like obviously the acrobatics are fantastic, but it is
Fantastic.
really poetic. Like, it's really like it takes you through a different journey, and I really like it.
That's making me remember how the whole thing sort of ends in a party. And that's such a wonderful feeling to end on this note of we're having a party. And the performers really look like they're having a great time. Like we're celebrating. We did it. We're celebrating having completed this beautiful performance. And it really looks like a fun party. Morgan, do you really enjoy that end scene?
Yeah, I have to say that's my favorite part of the show to do. It's really fun and everybody's like super cheerful, and I feel like we don't have to pretend. It's just us as we are, and the music is so nice. I don't know. It's a really nice way to finish the show, yes.
It feels very real, like
It is
we're
real.
all just genuinely celebrating.
Exactly, that's what it
It's
is.
a sensible
Yeah.
way to end the show, but it feels really culturally spot on. It's a lot of fun. And my favorite thing about it is there's moments where time freezes and you get to enjoy kind of this still moment where everything in a circus moves so fast, right? There's like the flipping and the jumping and all of these things that happen really quickly that you're amazed about. And to see these frozen moments, I feel like I could sit and do a painting of them. They're just very, very beautiful scenes. Is that one of the little things that's actually kind of challenging, or is that super easy?
It's easy, but of course, because we do like 8 to 10 shows a week, I've been on this show for 5 years. So sometimes you end up in the position and it's like super uncomfortable, but you still have to hold it. You still have to freeze. And like maybe one time you'll just have something funny comes in your mind and just try not to laugh. But most of the time, like, I mean, it's part of the job. So we know it just happens sometimes, but we know we have to be professional. So we try to get in a comfortable position that looks nice for the audience too. As you said, this part really looks like a painting. Like the music is super cheerful. The lights are really bright. And then when we freeze, the lights are getting a bit darker and the music slow down and the stage turns, and it really looks like a moving painting. And I know it's one of the moments where the people get more emotional in this show. It's a really beautiful moment.
It is very beautiful. And you just said something that I forgot to tell our listeners about. The stage rotates in a circle. Like, this is so mind-blowing to me. So there's not a bad seat in the house, right? It's a circle stage in the round, and even if you felt like for half a second you were not at the front of that stage, don't worry. It rotates like a record player, so you get to see everything from all angles. That we were talking about the many layers of challenging for the performers. When people are flipping through the air, but the stage itself is rotating, doesn't that sort of mess you up?
For us, for the trapeze act, it doesn't change much because we're in the air. So yeah, our visual is a bit weird, but it doesn't directly affect us. But there is an act at the end of the show, and it's called Swing to Swing. And these are incredible acrobats that jump from huge swing to another, and it's a very dangerous act. And the stage does rotate at this moment. And for me, I don't understand how they do it, but
I don't either.
They are very good.
It's kind of neat for me to hear that you, as one of the fellow performers, look at them and go, I don't know how they're doing that.
Yeah. That's why we're a really good team, is we're all, I think, pretty good at what we're doing, but we all have respect for each other because these disciplines are so different. We don't know how to do what the other person is doing, and we know how much work it takes to get to this level. So for that, we have like a lot of respect for each other.
Yes.
And that helps create a really good and healthy team.
It looks like you make it look so easy, but I can just feel, I know that it's a lot of work just to put on a production, let alone the level of mastery of your art. It's so beautiful. And that makes me think, I wonder what kind of training, like obviously you have to practice your actual act a lot, but is there other kinds of training that you personally have to keep up with, like other like weightlifting or jogging, or what do you do to be strong enough to do this?
So it really depends of what discipline you're doing. Like what you do on the side will really depend of what you need to perform your act. But I personally do stretching, so like flexibility a lot to be able to keep my flexibility to do the moves on the trapeze. And I try to do at least 3 times a week workout with weight or cardio, but just to stay in shape, because yes, it's like hard to do the act, but I feel like the more you're stronger, the easier it is.
Yes.
And that means the safer it is too. So if you're stronger, you feel safer on your apparatus, and because you're so high in the air, you want to feel safe.
Absolutely.
So it's really like a combination of all these things.
I would think that you'd have to do some strength training to be stronger than just the limit of your act,
exactly.
Right? You have to really feel almost like you could even do more.
Exactly, that's what you want,
there.
because if anything happens, you want to make sure, like, okay, something happened, it can happen, like technical issues or anything. So you want to make sure you can be able to do more chin-up to go back and sit on the trapeze, or like, So it's a really safe option to work out.
Yes, that is super helpful. I'm sort of a fitness fanatic, so I'm excited. I want to get your weightlifting tips. We'll do that later. So I have one more question about the party scene at the end. You were talking about how much fun it is, and you have to strike a pose where you can be reasonably comfortable, but the poses were dynamic and exciting. Like sometimes someone's balancing a bottle on their head, or you're throwing something. And my question is, to what extent is that choreographed, where you know where your pose is, versus we're all just making these movements and then it's like a freeze dance where we stop?
So where we are on stage is choreographed, because we are like 48% on stage. We cannot like, okay, let's all be there, and then there's everybody on the right and nobody on the left. So the positions are choreographed, but then the freeze, we can decide what we want to do. So we change. Sometimes you do 1 week the same thing, and then you change just to make it fresh. The only artistic direction we have for this freeze is that we have to freeze in action, not like, of course, you're not going to sit down and cross your arms and just wait.
Yes.
Like, you have to move till the freeze, and then freeze in the position you're in. Not prepare the position before.
You're also creative. I really think there was a lot of playfulness and fun, and it did seem kind of off the cuff, because they were such exciting little motions that were happening that people were stuck in the middle of, whether it was, I don't know, like chasing somebody, or like I said, balancing things on our heads. That was a moment that you kind of, I can close my eyes. I like to do this whenever I go and experience something really wonderful. I try to close my eyes and go back there so that I can practice my memory of keeping it in my memory. So and those are the moments, the freeze frames in the party. I can close my eyes and remember that part of the show really well. Nice. So I'm going to keep practicing that so that I can keep it forever. I might have to come back again, because that way I'll really remember it forever.
Yes.
It was absolutely worth coming back 2 or 3 times too, because it's like I said, you just once in a lifetime opportunity to see a lot of these things. And I'm so grateful to you both for coming to share a little bit about it with our friends here. The name of the show is Luzia, and it is at the Fairgrounds in Oaks through June 7th. Charlie, did I forget anything? What else do we want to tell the people?
No, I think they should come and experience it for themselves, because everyone takes something away different from the show, and it is a really beautiful and unique experience.
Absolutely, it sure is. And I see you guys on Instagram. Do you have, what's the handle on Instagram?
It's Luzia.Cirque du Soleil.
Perfect. Luzia.Cirque du Soleil, and you can get more information there or ask me. I'd be happy to help you. I think that it's just the most wonderful thing to go and be taken away in a show like this. So, ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Have a great day. All right, bye. You're listening to Pop Leisure, and I'm your host, Lane Caddy. Pop Leisure gives you the lowdown on local happenings, movies, music, art, and entertainment. Let us know what's happening in your neck of the woods at Pop Leisure Show on Instagram or email popleisureshow@gmail.com. Welcome to the show. Today is a very special day. I'm joined today by my daughter, Gwen, who is 10 years old. I'm so happy to introduce you to her. How you doing, Gwen?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy that you're at work with me today. Gwen came to the office with me today. It's take your kid to work day, and we're a happy pair. We're having a great time. Mm-hmm. So Gwen, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. What grade are you in? Where do you go to school?
I'm in 4th grade. I go to Lower Pasco. I like to write, but my really good subject is math.
Oh, that's great. Wow, you're good at writing and math?
Yes.
That's really challenging. I feel like that usually that's like a one or the other thing. So that's pretty special. And you're at Lower Pottsgrove. And what do you want to do for a career when you grow up one day?
I want to be an author.
Oh, that's so exciting. You have such a great imagination. I think that'll be really great.
Yes.
What kind of things do you think you'll write? Like, would it be like children's books or like novels or textbooks? What are you going to write?
I'll probably write graphic novels. I write about Ball. It's like a little glob.
Ball is a little glob.
Yeah, it's pink. It's really cool. I like it.
Oh, this is a character that you've invented?
Yes.
Oh, so you already have the storyline plotted out for your graphic novel one day?
Yes.
That's fantastic. Good. I can't wait to read it. I'm excited about that. I want to ask you too about being my daughter. You've spent a lot of time at Arnold's Entertainment Center, right?
Yes, I have.
Yes, you have. It's a pretty good gig, if you ask me.
Yep.
So my question for you is for all the other 10-year-olds out there that maybe haven't been yet or don't have as much time to come, tell them what is your favorite thing to do at Arnold's?
I really like the go-karts, and I like the Mario Kart. It's really fun.
Me too. Mario Kart is my favorite video game of all time.
Yes.
At home, we play like 4-player Mario Kart over and over and over again,
Yes,
and we
yes.
love it.
Yes.
I really enjoy that. But there's something pretty cool about being at like the full-size arcade cabinet in Arnold's, right? Like you
Yeah.
have the 2 big seats and the gas pedals, and it takes your picture before you start. And I really
Yeah.
like that machine. So you like to race. You like go-karts and
Yeah.
Mario Kart. What's the other racing game that we like to play in the arcade?
It's like the most
They're like snowmobiles.
yeah,
I think?
snowballs. Yeah, they're really fun.
Snowcross, that's a 4-seater. So you can do 4, just like at home when we do 4, you can do 4 racers on the snowmobiles and you ride them like motorcycles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The motorcycles, basically.
They're really cool. That's, yeah. So Gwen's got a need for speed. She likes anything that moves fast. That's very cool, Gwen. And I wanted to ask you, too, about one more exciting thing. The movie that is coming out on my birthday, the opening day is my birthday for Mandalorian and Grogu. And I think we should all go see it together.
Yes.
Yes, you think we should?
Yeah. I like Baby Yoda. The name by Baby Yoda.
Yes. For the first 2 or 3 seasons of the Mandalorian series, they didn't tell us the name of what everyone lovingly called Baby Yoda.
Yes.
And he was on T-shirts and toys, and he was everywhere because he was so stinking cute.
Yes.
Yes. Didn't you have a shirt with him on it?
Yeah. I have a shirt that said, "Come to the cute side," and it has him like reaching out and like the video see things.
He's reaching out, like using his powers,
yeah.
like come to the cute side.
He's like, come on.
Oh, that's so stinking sweet. Come to the cute side. He is really cute. And I really also think it's super cute when he eats frogs. Doesn't he eat? He eats frogs.
Yeah,
Like,
we do have a magnet at home with him eating frogs.
I guess that's why it's stuck in my mind. There's a magnet at home where he's eating a frog. Anyhow, Baby Yoda, we adore. I think the name Grogu was a surprise. When they finally told us his name and it was Grogu, everybody was like, what?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay.
Okay, but that's all right. That's all right. I didn't love the name, but we love the character. We love Mandalorian,
Yes.
and we super love Grogu. So I can't wait to go see that with you for my birthday, which is actually coming up really, really soon. So let's plan it. The whole family. We're going to go and see it. Do you think
Yes.
your brother will like it too?
Yeah.
I think so.
He normally likes family movies.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a family movie.
Well, I really like movies that are not animated but made for the whole family. Like I have there's a place certainly for animated films, but that's like you got to be in the headspace for a kids movie. But
Yep.
this one has this really great appeal to everyone in the family
Yep.
without feeling like specifically a kids movie, you
Yeah.
know? Like it feels like it works for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Hail Mary.
Like Project Hail Mary,
Yeah.
you're right. That was very similarly very suitable for the whole family range, but not animated. And yeah, good thinking. You're full of good ideas. All right, Gwen. Well, thank you for joining me today at the Pop Leisure Show. Will you come back again and visit sometime?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah. All right. All right. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye, honey. You're listening to Pop Leisure, and I'm your host, Lane Caddy. Pop Leisure gives you the lowdown on local happenings, movies, music, art, and entertainment. Welcome back. I'm so thrilled to be here, and this weekend is one of the most exciting movie openings that I can think of. It's my favorite, Mandalorian and Grogu, and I'm joined here today by Bob Trait, Director of Audience Development at Oaks Center Cinema, and movie guru, if I may. Is that
Sure.
That's accurate,
That's
isn't
fine.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of want to know more about Bob. Like, what started the love of movies? Like, where did that come from?
I've said this numerous times in interviews. They always want to know that, and I say it's my dad. He would say, I do something wrong. You're grounded. No TV. And then it would be that night. It would be like, Casablanca's on. So at like 6 or 7 years old, you're just happy to watch TV.
Oh,
but
yeah.
here you are watching a pre-World War II movie and learning all about, cinema at such an early age. And it became this almost like running joke. You're grounded. Searchers are on. So now you're going to watch a Western with John Wayne and John Ford. So I'm seeing movies that no one saw at that age and literally grew up with the likes of John Wayne films. I think I must have seen like 15 by the time I was maybe 10.
Oh, my goodness.
So you grow up with a different perspective of cinema and television. And then, plus you're also watching cartoons. So I was an 80s child and I watched all those things. And then I had cable. So I saw Red Dawn 50 times because Red Dawn was on Prism. Yeah. That's local for you. And it was on over and over and over again. So I thought things like Cannery Row, which, no one had
I've
seen
never
that
heard of
movie.
that.
Yeah, it's with Nick Nolte. And it's just this really bizarre mixture, I think, of several, like 2 different John Steinbeck novels. So you grow up seeing strange movies.
And that's because he had an eclectic taste in movies? Is that what that is?
He did. It was a very strange taste. I don't think it was so modern for some people. But I mean, even then in the 80s, those movies were only 30 some years old. So now they're 50, 60, 70 years old. So
Right.
I grew up with a great love of Westerns, classic movies, things that no one had ever seen before. So when I got to film school, they're like, first time you're going to watch Some Like It Hot. You're like, no.
Right. Seen that.
By the way, I was in the high school musical version of Something Like It Hot, so I, knew it forwards and backwards.
Oh, that's great.
But then you're able to open up your mind to the fact that, is this, what is the cinema really saying? So there's a different perspective. And I had all those years of watching several movies 50 times, where most of my classmates were for the first time seeing the likes of The Godfather, and you're just like, oh yeah, I've seen that. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start analyzing it a little bit more.
I love that it has such deep roots from when you were teeny tiny and you were sort of in trouble, but you got out of it because you could watch what the family was watching.
Well, no, the family, my dad.
Specifically your dad. He was like
my dad,
big into movies.
And imagine my poor brother. He's 21 months younger than me, so he's even younger watching Casablanca. The Adventures of Robin Hood is fun with Errol Flynn for any kid.
Oh, sure.
But, Casablanca has a lot more deep, like, who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy?
Oh, yeah.
Who's she going to end up with? All those kind of things. And then at the dawn of VCRs, my dad didn't have the whole movie. So sometimes we only got like half a movie. So for me, Robin Hood starts like when Maid Marian and Robin Hood are in the forest after he kidnaps her.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So
Is that because he would actually record it from the TV?
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's on. And then he'd hit record.
Oh, my
He
goodness.
literally had like a tape ready to go
That
all the
is so
time.
fun.
But like Casablanca starts for me during the montage of, you played it for her, you can play it for me, and then he flashes back to Paris. That's where the movie started for me. So when we actually bought a videotape of it, here was like 20 more minutes of the movie that
you didn't even know existed.
It's so weird.
Wow, it was a different time. I almost forgot that we could do that back in the
Yeah.
day. You could have a video ready to record in the VCR and just go for it.
Yeah.
But you would miss the first 10, 15 minutes of a whole lot of
If you did.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And I had a Clash of the Titans was a movie that my dad taped off of Fox 29 for me because I like fantasy films. But it was a TV cut. So it wasn't until the DVD came out that I actually saw there was little snippets here and there that they cut out for commercial breaks or because it was a little risque for television at like 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I'm like, whoa. What is this? Is this an extended cut? I had no idea because I had worn out my videotape.
Right. Well, we don't really think about that, but it does have that little screen that pops up that says this screen has been formatted for
Yes.
your television,
Yes.
and it says things like that.
Formatted and edited for your experience. And now those are disappearing because it's a streaming channel. So if you're on it, then you know what you're getting into.
Right, you chose to be here.
Yeah.
And it does feel like in some ways, though, that kind of standard of like what's safe to play on a Sunday afternoon has gone completely out the window. And it's hard for me to put anything on the television around the kids, all my whole family in one space. I'm like, if it's not like just completely benign, I don't want it on because you'll be watching a regular just kind of mystery show or something and see something that's like way out of bounds.
Well, you can get into like deep of what's PG before PG-13 in 1984 and what actually like crosses the line with violence, nudity, a lot of those things because there was G, PG, and R.
Yes.
And then you're just like, but some of those old standards have never changed. So you can see full nudity in a PG movie.
No.
Where you wouldn't expect to see it. And you're like, wait a minute, what? Or you'll hear the F-bomb and you're just like, wait a minute, this
in a
movie's PG.
movie?
Yeah.
When? And that changed over time?
It did because the rating system changed, but there was so much you could get away with. Is this PG? Is this R? And then the PG-13 rating started with movies like Temple of Doom, Gremlins, Ghostbusters really pushes the limit for language. But it's still 1984. So 84 really does change a lot of things when it comes to the rating system.
And you're saying, is that when they added the PG-13 rating?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was, now there's more levels and
Indiana
more rules.
Jones and the Temple of Doom has some really violent scenes in it for basically a kid's adventure movie, old serials and things.
Yeah.
And that's when people started to say, no, like this isn't rated R, but this isn't PG. So then
we need something in
we
between
need something in
for
between
that.
to say if you're going in, oh, okay, I should have at least a 13-year-old can see this.
That makes
So
a lot
it
of
does
sense.
change.
Because you don't want to like bring your 10-year-old kid with you and have
Right.
them upset.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it is hard to tell sometimes.
it is.
We
And
don't
that's-
know.
And if you're going in fresh, that's a whole other thing with parents. Like, do you watch it first and then watch it with them? Or do you just go in or you just, hey, this looks exciting. So like if we can segue into The Mandalorian, it's PG-13.
Good. Yes, it's PG-13.
It's PG-13.
Which is kind of like that middle ground that feels just right for your
Exactly.
older kids, and we can enjoy it as a family. It's not animated, but even if I'm not going with my kids, it still feels like an appropriate movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
Right.
not like you have to be there for
Well,
the
yeah.
kids.
I mean, an R-rated Star Wars movie, as long as Disney has control, I think will never happen.
Right, we won't see that.
As the fans mature, but I mean, the Andor TV series is very mature, but it's no way rated R. You know,
Right.
it talks about politics. It talks about, right and wrong and the gray areas. But
You said something I don't understand. What's the Andor?
Andor is a Star Wars TV series that takes place before Rogue One, that features Cassian Andor and his adventures of becoming like a dissident rebel, and then moving into the rebellion as more of a leader. It's a whole series.
I love talking to you about stuff like this, Bob, because I just learned
very
a
political.
whole series.
Very political, but has really strong moments in it. And it is the most mature Star Wars show there is.
No kidding.
As
And
in-
where does somebody watch that? Is it on like Disney Plus?
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. They
I
just
had
finished
no
their
idea.
second season. Maybe a year ago. I don't know. I like more of the serial kids, as in serials, as in episodic little segments that combine. That's, to me, has always been Star Wars. That's what I prefer. The Mandalorian Grogu, or just The Mandalorian, was perfect for that. And I think it really it brought Star Wars back to being a kids style show that adults can enjoy.
Yes.
And just
so
have
true.
a break from reality. So that's something that I really like. I was not a big fan of Andor. I like parts of it.
Okay.
Especially the prison scenes, the prison moments in Andor, which are really good. And I think Andy Serkis, who is better known as Gollum, in that, of course, he was also in The Force Awakens, but he was really good in that. And it was a really strong moment, and it really ties to A New Hope in a lot of ways. But I don't know, just Andor wasn't for me.
It's opening up a whole new door to me. Like, I can't wait to go check it out, because I am a big Star Wars fan, but like I just totally missed that one. Didn't even know it existed.
Well, there's so much Star Wars now, and it's strange because as a kid there was the 3 movies, a couple of cartoons, 2 TV specials, and then novels, and that's all that you had.
Right.
And now there's so much.
You can miss whole pieces of it.
Yes.
But all right, so that one maybe just didn't even hit as much notoriety because maybe it isn't as good.
Andor?
Andor, yeah.
Oh, no, it's won all kinds of awards.
Oh,
It just didn't
really?
hit with me. I don't understand why.
So
It
then
just-
I just missed it because I'm not paying
Yeah,
attention.
yeah. It
all
just
that
didn't
happened.
hit
I'm
with
not
me.
paying
I don't know why. Everybody says, you don't like it. And I'm like, it was okay. It just didn't connect with me for some
Well,
reason.
and like you said, it was kind of more geared towards a more mature like thinking, and I think that's what I love about Mandalorian is how cute Grogu is. I mean, well, for 2 or 3 years we didn't know his name, and he was just Baby Yoda.
Yes.
And everywhere you went, you could find little Baby Yoda T-shirts and toys and cute little Baby Yoda.
I think The Onion had a joke that said Disney to lose millions of dollars for not calling it The Mandalorian and Baby Yoda.
Yes. And I gotta tell you, we were like on the edge of our seats, just dying to know the name of Baby Yoda. And when they came out and said Grogu,
Yeah.
I honestly, it fell a little flat. Everybody in the room was a little bit like,
really?
What?
See, I just
Grogu?
preferred the child. That's
Oh,
what I like,
okay,
where they
all
called him
right.
the child.
Yes.
And that was it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it made sense that it was mysterious and we all ran around with our Baby Yoda things. But now that he's Grogu is sort of like a downer for the name. Like, I wanted something to be...
Wow, okay.
I was disappointed. I got it. Maybe that's just me.
I don't know. I liked it, but for me, it's always going to be the child because my son was born like 2 weeks after the show started.
Oh, wow.
So then my family was just calling him the child.
That's
after the
so
show.
funny.
So that's why it's just like, I'm fine with the child. But
How adorable.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's a great time to watch it. So now that series, I loved the whole way through, and this is kind of a long awaited film. I didn't really, I'm sure that it was in the making for a long time and other people knew about it, but I don't pay a whole lot of attention sometimes. So I didn't realize that the film was coming out until recently. And I'm so excited to see the film. What are you most looking forward to about the film?
It with anything that has to do with what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have done is they said this early on that The Mandalorian was just a show of of the unwanted Star Wars toys that their older brothers would have just said, oh yeah, play with this guy. So whenever I watch anything that's in the trailers or you look at the new posters that were done, you see these little hints of those toys somewhere, or characters that were thrown to the side, or characters that came from books, or Star Wars cartoons. And one of those is Zeb. He's this big gray guy, kind of looks like a Wolfman kind of guy that's been in all the trailers. Well, Zeb was in Star Wars Rebels, and he was a regular character, had his full journey in 4 seasons, and now this Star Wars Rebels takes place before A New Hope, before the first movie. And now here he is as a rebel pilot. He's survived, the 3 Star Wars movies, survived Return of the Jedi and the death of the second Death Star. And now we're going to see him live action for the first time. And Stephen Bloom is voicing the character again. And he was just one of those characters that just had such a great journey because he was so hard. And his people were like tortured and hunted down. And his journey of a character and how he became who he is now is going to be fascinating to see in live action. And other people will say, wow, what a great character. Oh, he's got a whole cartoon series where I can watch his arc. So that's what's really cool. And the thing is, you may not know this, is that his design, and this is what I was saying with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau going back and pulling things from old Star Wars stuff, is his design of his character is actually the original design for Chewbacca that they didn't use.
No way. Oh, that is fascinating.
Yeah. So Ralph McQuarrie, who is the original concept artist for Star Wars that George Lucas hired, drew Chewbacca. Well, he kind of looked like the wolf man with, no snout, kind of thing. So it was one of those things where I was like, all right, well, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit. But this character has always been in concept arts and posters from those original days when Lucas was trying to sell the movie to people. And now this character, all of a sudden, oh yeah, well, we never really saw his feet. So let's do his feet a little bit different. And then Zeb has now become this character. So yeah, it's just a strange journey. But even in the latest poster, there are little Star Wars toys that they call mini rigs. And these were cheap little ships that you could buy for like less than $9.
Oh, cool.
And they put them in the movie and they're on the poster this time. So it's just one of those things that if you're a diehard Star Wars fan or a child of the 80s, you're like, I know that ship. Why do I know that ship? And it's because it was a toy that never was in the movie. And they've done this a few times. So this is what's always fun. And I always like thinking back to, well, what else from that toy box that these two guys had that they have now put into the movie that's going to become just canon for everybody else to be like, wait a minute, that's the guy from the chess piece that's trying to beat up the Mandalorian that was in the little chess thing between R2 and Chewbacca.
Far out. I love things like that kind of like scratch the back of your mind. Like, where did I see that? I know this from something. That's so cool. That's so cool. We were talking earlier too about Pedro Pascal and how he's been in I said 45 movies in the last year.
It's just everything. It's like somebody realized, oh, this guy can act. And let's put him in as much. And kudos to his people, his talent, his agents, his teams.
Oh, yeah.
To just keep him rolling.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how he's surviving it at this point.
I loved him and I think he was the Sand Viper in Game of Thrones. And spoilers, when he dies in Game of Thrones, I mean, he dies violently. But it was just like, no, I want this guy to keep being on the show.
Because we loved him so much.
Because he was so good.
Yes.
And then it was just like, oh, he's going to be the Mandalorian. And you're like, oh, okay, good. I get to see him.
Right. It feels like he's just like sprinting right now, just the pace that he's producing content.
And we all know what he looks like. That's what was so cool. But we heard the voice. We knew what he looks like. And then when that helmet comes off for the first time and you're like, oh, they're going to go with his real face. And you're just like,
so
it's
exciting.
Not an alien. It's not. And I mean, it couldn't have been an alien. We saw he was a little kid, as a human. But it was just like, oh, it's him.
Right. That story of, I will never take off the helmet was like really mind bending. Like trying to picture that for yourself. I feel like everybody does that. Like you kind of picture that for yourself. Like, could I do that?
Could I do that? And then he takes it off when he's on the Imperial planet and has to take it off so that they register his face and his eyes and stuff. So he had to take off the helmet for that because he's trying to save the child.
And that's what matters at the end.
Yeah.
I could cry.
Yeah.
I just love it so much. At the end of the day, all that matters is the child that he adopted out of nowhere, right? It was
Right.
just like, this little precious being needs
it's
me.
part of it's part of the Mandalorian code that he was raised in. He was a foundling, and then he has to pass that on because that is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
I still say that on a daily basis
Oh my God.
to anybody in my house.
All the time. I think I like that because this ties to like Lawrence of Arabia, where he said, "Oh, it was written then." So like all of the Arabs that he deals with, and they all say like, you shouldn't have saved that man. Well, why shouldn't I have saved him? It was written. It was written then.
It was written then.
It was written then. So they came up with their own phrase, and kudos to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni for doing that because everything was, "May the force be with you."
Yes,
and
that's
now
true.
now it's to change and to move the story forward. This is the way.
And truly, it sticks. It sticks so hard. Anybody that watches that show, like, will say something to their kids in their house and then just say, "This is the way."
This is the way.
I'm doing this
This
at
is the way.
home. And I'm sure that years ago, it would have been me saying, like, "Let the force be with
Oh
you."
yeah,
Like,
my parents, we still say it.
yeah.
We'll still say it from time to time, and I'm not going to say where, but we say it from time to time, and it still gets a joke. And now and my kids aren't at that age or understand it yet, but my brother's kids are a little bit older, and they'll do it.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
cute.
very strange
That's
to have
really
that
cute.
line continue, and that's what's the great thing about Star Wars is that it is multi-generational.
Oh, totally.
So-
and I think this really helped that, like you were saying, that it goes back to sort of making the Star Wars brand feel like loved by a younger crowd, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because the Grogu is so cute and lovable and he's relatable, and it's helping that to be taken on by our kids who are going to grow up loving that, and
Mm-hmm. Right.
then there's just endless possibilities.
Well,
And
my father used to come over to watch my son, and he would put him in his lap as 3 months old, and just say, "I'm going to watch The Mandalorian," and then he would sit there with him, and that's what they would do. And I'm just like, "What are you guys doing?" He's like, "You watched this one already last week." He's like, "Yeah, but it's a good one. We're going to watch this one again."
I kind of want to go back and watch them again
They are
to get
really
ready for the movie, right? Like I should just binge watch the whole series and then go straight out.
A lot of those Imperial warlords that we've seen in the trailer, they were in scenes in the series.
Oh, cool.
Certain ones. And they're just like, they may have had one line or something. So it's fascinating to me how connected that they're making everything. Now, we never saw Sigourney Weaver's Colonel Ward before, but I mean, it's Sigourney Weaver.
That's exciting.
It already, it's just like, wow, okay, we're getting her. But to see how many other little people. Now, Jeremy Allen White from The Bear. Do you watch
Yes.
The Bear?
Oh, I love Jeremy
The
Allen
Bear.
White. Oh.
Love The Bear.
I just think he's such a fascinating individual.
Good. He's actually playing a character from Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which was the original Dave Filoni TV series, the very first movie that they did, which was released in theaters, called, I think it's Star Wars: The Clone Wars, or maybe it's Star Wars Clone Wars. I'm not sure. It's very weird. But the character of Ahsoka rescues Jabba the Hutt's son, Rhoda.
Okay.
And Jeremy Allen is now 35, 40 some years later playing the grown-up version of Rhoda the Hutt, who is the big, strong Hutt that you see with the two axes that the Mandalorian's fighting in that arena.
Wow.
So it's all connected in some way.
Wow.
To all of these previous projects and keeping the universe together. It's not like, oh, here's 5 new things you didn't know. No, it's like, no, here's 5 things that you can go back and see
Yes.
what happened and where those characters came from and how maybe they're all connected in some way.
That is fascinating. That's why we're talking to you, Bob, because I have missed most of it. I'm like,
It's a lot. It's like getting ready for the new Marvel movie. You're like, how much homework do I have to do?
I know. I feel
But
like
I think
it's deep dive research.
they present it in some way that it's very fresh, that you could go back if you needed to, if you wanted to.
And I love that they also present it in such a way that if you know nothing about any of it, you're still going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so you can deep dive as much as you want to or not, and still come in completely unaware and really follow the story. And there's not a lot of, wait, who's that guy?
Right.
Like what are we doing now?
Yeah.
Like it makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
You just look for the guy in the audience who goes, yeah. Oh, wait.
Right, he gets
Who
it.
is that? Who is that? Should I have make a note? Make a note. I
Right,
gotta write
right.
down. I gotta look whatever that guy's name is.
Right.
Later.
Yeah, I'm going to be
You know.
keeping an eye out for those moments. I should.
Yeah.
I hopefully I'll go see it at the same time you do because you're going to have all
I
these
have
like
no
light bulb
idea.
moments.
Like I would like to go Thursday, and see it early so that
Right.
nothing is spoiled. Because now you watch something now and it's like a day later, there's
Instant
20
recaps.
memes for it on Instagram. It's not even hearing it from your friends or the loudmouths like at a restaurant talking about it. It's
No.
the internet just ruins
Yes.
movies now.
It's true. It's true. So yeah, please, guys, like no spoilers on the internet. I mean, we can say that, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But, so just avoid your threads for.
Yeah.
Just-
It's all the more reason to put down the phone and go to the movies and just,
yeah, and see it in opening weekend because
Yeah, 'cause somebody's-
a whole week later, somebody at work is going to say something, or it'll show up on YouTube.
And that's something I would like to say too. It's nice that Star Wars is back to Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
Because for whatever reason, the J.J. Abrams films moved it to December. And for me, as a longtime Star Wars fan, even the prequels were all in May. So to have that was something to look forward to for the summer. You get out, school's just about to end, and even for me, it was like college is almost over, and we get into the prequels, all those things. And now to have Star Wars back, they did it with Solo, but Solo just didn't land the way it should have. And this is a chance to actually, even the original poster they had was very much a throwback to one of the original Star Wars posters.
Okay.
The artwork poster with all the characters on it. So to say somebody there, probably Dave Filoni, who's now in charge of a lot of things now that Kathleen Kennedy is moving on. It's, and I have no problem with Kathleen Kennedy, I'll say that. But it's just, you can kind of see that maybe some things are starting to, hey, we're going to pay homage to what's happened before. We're going to put this movie at the right time. If you look up Star Wars release dates, they're all around Memorial Day.
Cool.
I wrote an article once that said May belongs to George Lucas.
Yeah.
And you can just go through a lot of his films. He just knew Memorial Day weekend. Nobody did that until
Yes.
he did that.
Wow.
And then you see where that money goes, and people have off.
They
People
do.
have vacation. You're not going to do a picnic every day.
Right, you've got the 3-day weekend.
Yeah,
so
so-
whenever your picnic is, you're still going to have extra days.
You're going to have extra days, extra time. The kids have that extra day off. That's
Yes.
money in the bank Memorial Day.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it. It also happens to be my birthday that week, so I won't tell you when.
Well, happy
but
birthday.
I'm pretty excited that this film is coming out in time for my birthday. We're all going to go out and see it. All right. Well, thanks so much, Bob. It's always a wealth of information.
Oh, thank you.
I'm excited
I'm glad you
about
said
this
wealth.
one. Absolutely. A wealth of information. Thanks for your time. All right, guys, this is Pop Leisure Show. You can DM us on Instagram at Pop Leisure Show or send us an email, popleisureshow@gmail.com, to tell us what's going on in your neck of the woods. We're here broadcasting at 98.5 FM The Phoenix, and you can listen to this show Thursdays and Fridays. Thanks so much. Have a great afternoon.